Shalom, family. Hope everybody is tuning in to this frequency that's out. Got a couple drops I want to share with y'all that I thought was pretty interesting. So I'm just going to play parts of a clip from a gentleman whose video that I watch quite a bit when it comes to space weather reports, and things of that nature. Um, He is going to give us the drop, and I'm going to take it from there. Let's go. Let's see. Y'all know I have my baby in the background, so he will be giving praises as well. Here we go.
Abnormally high. We have a baseline of around 15 hertz currently. That's around twice the regular vibration of Mother Earth's heartbeat, and even human brain activity that vibrates comfortably at 7.83 hertz. We've also had some very large spikes that look like they went off the chart. And this has been ongoing for about the last 24 hours. I want to bring this to your attention because it doesn't look like it's letting up anytime soon. You can almost make an argument that there's a print here at 24 hertz all the way across. And you can definitely make an argument for these 4 spikes that are off of the charts. Why is the Schumann resonance so important? Because at its regular vibration, 7.83, it allows DNA to heal, mitochondria to continue to reproduce, etc.
So, I didn't want to steal too much, even though the video is pretty short. I just wanted to get a little here to kind of further explain. So when you look at this chart, I know it's not clear here, but there's other websites that you can go and look at it. It stops at 40 hertz, right? And when he's speaking about it being off the charts, all that means is it could be anywhere after 40 hertz, right? Which is extremely high. But we're gonna get to find out what it's being put here for, and I'm gonna explain further. All right. So Schumann resonance, just to give y'all some backdrop, what it does is it changes the Earth's frequency. They always put their names on stuff here. We know how ESO spirits work, and what they do is they put their names on things that don't belong in it. So the name Schumann just comes from somebody who proclaims to have discovered this resonance. But we gonna get on the wave and figure out exactly what it is. So it says here that it is a magnetic cross wave. Keep that in mind, a wave that is inside the earth, which vibrates as of 10. There go that number 10. As the brain waves of human. The resonance of our planet has been on average 7.8, which we just heard the gentleman explain. But right now we're experiencing an increase, which he stated has been going on, and he doesn't see any plans of it stopping. The reason why I like watching him is because he talks unconsciously about how they're hiding something because they're not reporting the Schumann that they can't find, and they have yet to fix the chart so that it can be charted at the actual hertz that it's occurring. Alright, so I'm going to give you guys a little insight on what the Schumann resonance is going to do. We just found out that it averages at 7.8, which is the normal frequency that the Earth vibrates on. Most human beings vibrate on that, so on and so forth. And then when I say most, I'm speaking sarcastically, because this right here is for the starseeds. So, alright, so what's going to happen is you feel time is accelerating. And then I just love that video that Brother D'Angelo has on his page. I always reference it. because it was just plainly put by the two young ladies that are sitting like out somewhere. Look like they're sitting on the sky or something, and they're having a conversation. And one of the things the little girl says is that, well, how does this end? Is the whole world going to end? And she says, well, no, what's going to happen is everything's going to speed up at a higher frequency. And so they're telling on themselves here with this article, but we're going to find out how this is going to benefit those starseeds. All right, so the influencer of the Schumann resonance is felt directly in the passage of time. As the speed of resonance is increasing, human consciousness captures it immediately. Our mind is influenced by the magnetic field of our planet, all the alterations that occur within the earth. In the course of daily life, we feel that time passes too quickly and that changes occur too often. Let's remember that the Schumann frequency vibrates in harmony with the alpha waves of our brain. Therefore, the changes we perceive are real and not imaginary. Why would they need to actually emphasize on it not being imaginary? Well, we finna see. Alright, so planet Earth is changing the vibrating frequency, and we are accompanying that change. Our way of thinking is clearer, more effective, and we begin to become more aware of our own being, our inner divinity, that we are a part of the universe. All praises for that, because that was simply put. Around us, we see growth of spirituality on a global level. We are discovering our true potential for emotional self-healing and sincere communication with others. Now, everything that's being put here is not all for the good of that Edomite spirit of Isu, because we know that this spirit can be with any color. So I'm just going to emphasize on that, because not only is this frequency here to vibrate what is in tune with it, it is also here to discomfort those that are out of tune. So when you hear the brothers and the sisters talk about us changing our diets, that's very, very important in this time, because we want to be able to catch all these frequency waves that are being sent to the earth, because it's actually for the starseeds to transform. And I'm going to explain a little further, but I'm going to just give y'all a little bit of the discomforts that happen here. So, oh yeah, and just keep in mind that these discomforts don't just apply to the bad, it also applies to the good, because we know that we want to be purifying ourselves, so it might be discomfort for us as well. So like any profound change, the increase in the speed of the Schumann resonance creates discomfort in humans, especially at the beginning. Many people around the world feel tiredness, depression, dizziness. Excuse me. That's pretty much what I wanted to give y'all from this article, and I don't need anything else. I say that because I know when this first was happening, that I discovered recently over the past 3 years, I remember experiencing some headaches and things of that nature. It's all a part of the process to be purified. Some people are not going to have the same experience, but yeah. Let's go over to the Keys of Enoch. And this is key 204, and I'm going to read from verse 2. So you as a believer can receive modulated gravitational wave factors that are sent from a higher evolutionary master intelligence of light. So we often hear a lot of the brothers that are currently coming out, and you're being able to see the spiritual Israel. They are talking about communicating with a higher evolutionary intelligence, right? So I'm going to go on. This transmission of knowledge contains codes of light that give you the realization of God's purpose and recognition of where you are in relation to the larger evolving universe. This knowledge comes as a light force and as a love force. So I'm going to read that again. This knowledge comes both as a light force and as a love force. This is expressed through God's infinite mind as the Yeh Asher Yeh. I am that I am, which gives teaching and understanding to our creation through the hierarchy for the remaking of our evolution. Hold on, I think it might be. Yeah, evolving species, excuse me, with cellular time. Now, we just heard in that video what the frequencies are at right now. Now we putting the pieces of the puzzle together to find out exactly what that's going to look like for those of us who are trying to keep up with the frequency. This is what the Father has planned, the great I am, the higher intelligence working with the great I am. So our time and space are the dimensions of time cell consciousness ordered by the greater starseed image. The image is given by the higher intelligence as the configuration for connecting the spatial vibrations of the first chakra to the seventh, eighth, and ninth chakras of the higher evolutionary light. I'm going to repeat this last sentence one more time, right? The image is given by the higher intelligence as the configuration for connecting the spatial vibrations of the first chakra to the seventh, eighth, and ninth chakras of the higher evolutionary light. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I do know that a long time ago in my spiritual journey, before I got into the whole Hebrew knowledge, I was real into chakras and stuff. Well, little did I know that I didn't know much at that time, and I still don't know anything, but we're gonna learn together. So at that time, I thought there was only 7 chakras, and this is new information to me. So I'm just gonna keep sharing. So verse 6, the movement towards energy embodiment of the 5th dimension begins with a mutual programming created by projected energy codes, creating an 8th and ninth chakra vibratory level. Now, I don't know if y'all know, but I just learned this as well. We on this plane operate under 3D. That is the average that is the average dimension that we operate on currently, which is evolving and changing right now, and this is how. All right. So when this takes place, the first and second chakra influences dominating organic dimensionality are changed. So it's letting y'all know we finna move on to a different dimension. I hear what's her name? Janae Ayako. I might be butchering her name, but I remember listening to her because I'm from California, so that's like one of my West Coast artists that I grew up listening to because me and her are around the same age. And she would always talk about different dimensions and planes, and I never really knew what she was talking about. I felt it, but I didn't really know how to feel it like I do now. So, when this takes place, the first and second chakras, okay, we already read that. The human system acquires additional 8th and ninth chakra energy fields, which are necessary to receive and send geometries of the living light. All right. So I'm going to kind of expound on that because we need to know exactly why are we hearing the 8th and ninth chakra expounded on so many times out of what we just read, right? And I truly found this amusing, and it gave me a sense of understanding, so to speak. But we know we serve an infinite power, so it's always more. But I was grateful to receive this, and I'm gonna share with y'all. All right. So what is the 8th chakra? The 8th chakra is also known as the soul star chakra. Here we go again, Starseeds. People consider it as the pathway for divine love to flow to one's physical body. Now let's go back real quick. Right here. This knowledge comes both as a light force and as a love force. All right. So it's expressed through the I am that I am, right? Which is in us. Not just, we are created in his likeness. So this is in us. He he's sending out the frequency for us to actually tune into that. All right. So people consider it as the pathway for love, for divine love to flow to one's physical body. Now we already know this is super important here. All right. Let's go deeper. Let's go back to that article. I mean, not article. Let's go back to the Keys of Enoch. So a series of a biomagnetic. Okay, let's go here. Biomagnetic energy resonance are balanced with the 8th and ninth chakra levels. So all praises, because we're talking about the resonance that they keep talking about, calling it Schumann resonance, trying to throw us off and things of that nature. But this is what it's about here. Are balanced with the 8th and ninth chakra levels so as to open the human vibratory field through complete energy conversion. So this is what's happening currently. Let's go a little deeper. All right. We're going to jump down to verse 11. We are going into a different membrane program at this time. This new program requires that the genetics of man function on a higher wavelength of light. In the beginning, when I read the article that talked about what exactly this resonance was, it talked about a wavelength. This is for us, y'all. We have to attune to this frequency, though. We can't just be here existing in it. Faith without works is dead, right? So let's look a little further. All right. In order to accomplish this, the Brotherhood of Light is accelerating the entire system of human biorhythms. That's that speeding up, accelerating, that accelerated time that we talked about in the beginning as well. All right. Of human biorhythms to enter into a less dense spectrum of energy matter. Less dense. The Brotherhood of Light just made me think of that light as a feather term right here when they talked about a less dense spectrum of energy matter. All right, so 12. The Brotherhood of Light is changing the electromagnetic density so that the electrification of matter prepares man for the dominating of his over-self body. That Adam Cadmon body. Excuse me. We are going directly into a new star threshold with a new magnetic vibration, which is changing the whole nuclear membrane on the earth. So what does that mean? I know when a lot of us came into the truth, well, me for myself, I'm just going to speak for myself. I could remember having conversations that were really, 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 really carnal back then. And I mean, we thought the world was going to end, literally. And I don't even know how we was even able to come to that conclusion, and also thought the kingdom was going to come at the same time. But we were so carnal, we didn't know. But this is what I say that to say that we are going to destroy the earth's frequency with our consciousness. And that's what's going to happen to the earth, which is also what the little girl said in the video that Brother D'Angelo has. I think it's like his very first video from when he deleted his videos and started over, I definitely advise y'all to go over to his channel and look at that video because it's deep. I've even listened to it multiple times. So, all right, enough on my rant. Realizing then that the universe around us is gauged by many wave factors of electromagnetism, excuse me, we can realize how man is an electromagnetic computer. It is controlled by a still larger gravitational time grid, which is different from our spectrum. It's talking about that higher intelligence again. And I I like this verse because sis name Laverne used to always say that she had a lesson about us being made like a computer being made after us pretty much. And she always says we are fearfully and wonderfully made, and that was a real good scripture right there to back hers up, what she presented. All right. So we as an Earth species have been using the wrong attitude. Ain't that funny? Like the wrong frequencies in so many words. That this made it more plain, right? The wrong science, the wrong wavelength of measurement, trying to penetrate gamma pulsations and other energy codes coming. Now y'all remember what happened to the Hulk when he was hit with all that gamma ray, right? Okay. Transformation here is coming. Let's move over. Uh-oh. All right, coming into our spectrum from other thresholds. And those are a list of thresholds, which Brother Main talked about a few of them. And I've actually talked about a few of them with my brothers and sisters that I usually just fellowship with and love on. But we're going to go back here to the 8th chakra. So here we go. This chakra, this 8th chakra, is where your personality, ego, and will start to project into your physical experience. It holds the blueprint for your personality and how you come into function in the formative years. It is an important phase that you should never rush. You can think of it as your life's purpose. You see, the purpose of your soul is always clear to your higher self, but it may not always be that obvious once you enter in the physical plane. It requires activation of your 8th chakra to connect to your higher self before you can get a glimpse of your life purpose. Now, I came back here because I wanted us to kind of get a little clarity on what did we read in the Keys of Enoch, and why is this so important that I keep on talking about these chakras, because they're mentioned multiple times, right? And a lot of us have came out of the carnal state of minds that we were in into the spiritual state. We're working and putting in that work to align ourselves with our spiritual side, being children of the light, because we know who we are now. There is no more confusion about that. So what we have to do first is know ourselves, right? And that takes me back to a song by Common that talks about don't forget who you are, because he explains it very well in that song. So but anyways, we need to know who we are in order to transition. There is no if, ands, buts, or maybes. We need to know that we are a collective part of the I am, the great I am, that energy resides within us. Those frequencies, that consciousness that's in us. We were the ones that were made in his likeness, right? So let's go ahead and look at the 9th chakra. Now this blew my mind for real. It really did. Okay. So the 9th chakra, what are the qualities? The 9th chakra is where all the Christ-like abilities lie dormant, waiting to be released and used in the inner and outer worlds. Okay, so did y'all hear that? Now, I know a lot of us have thought, myself for sure, that we were supposed to be like Christ, but we didn't understand the extent of that, because we were made in his likeness. And what he chose to do was send us a personal physical representation of an ascended master who knew how to do it so that we would know we could do it. Not necessarily for us to idolize and worship him and believe that we couldn't be like him, but truly everything he can do, we can do, right? But we have to awaken the parts that he had awakened in order to tap into that. So let's read a little further. So it says here, all right, so then where are we at? The ninth chakra is the fluidic twin to the 10th chakra. The number of spokes the ninth chakra possesses varies in its actual number. Okay, we don't need that. So down here, this chakra holds the karmic blueprint of each person. It stores skills and abilities learned in all lifetimes. It holds the keys to the soul's destiny. So we we just found out that the other chakra holds the exact our soul's placement, right? Here we find out the ninth chakra is the actual source, which is our Christ-like abilities. What are the Christ-like abilities? The creator, the healer, and the teacher. And we all have these in us. We are just waiting for them to be activated. Now is the time. All praises. So here I'm gonna go back up because I felt like this was interesting, and one of my brothers pointed this out to me when I was talking to them about it. The Kundalini activation, right? If you are familiar with Kundalini, I'm just going to give y'all a little bit of it. So basically, that awakening is said to occur when there are sudden changes in your body, mind, and spirit, leading you to a gradual transformation. Kundalini awakening is a state you obtain when you are starting to change from within. The change has to start within first and then out, because what happens, right? The spiritual first and then the physical. This is the true way to manifest. Start within. Now I'm gonna go back to the keys of Enoch real quick. All right, so 19. Therefore, when the scientists of the earth retool their electromagnetic measurements with the new energy codes of consciousness, the bio-communication signals from the other species can be received. We were created to actually communicate with higher evolutionaries. Who are they? The ascended masters like our brother, Yahushua, Buddha. And if you guys don't believe in Buddha and all that stuff, whatever, to each his own. I'm not here to judge, but I will say there is a precept for that. And it's actually one that I found in the seal portion. So, and I say that because I know a lot of people don't really trust a lot of these other books and things, but they will go along with that source. So if you ever have time, look it up. I cannot remember offhand where it's at, but it's definitely in that book, as well as it tells us that there are multiple gods, and those gods being us. Now we know. So let me keep on reading real quick here. All right, so the biocommunication signals from other species can be received and used to help us project into new planetary environments on the new biological wavelengths, which will allow us to cross the old electromagnetic spectrum on which our present civilization is based, as in the cycle of the atom Cadmon. We will communicate back to our parent source of light. Do y'all hear that? I was talking about that earlier, the Adam Cadmon, when it talks about the over self body. That's what it was referring to. And this is what's going to happen to the earth. We're going to cross the old electromagnetic spectrum, which that's a whole deeper subject when we get to talking about the Merkaba and stuff like that. I'm going to leave that where it is and just say we are to return to our original selves. um, All right, so 23. The Sons of Light are now giving a master control evolutionary charter to those within our galactic tree of life who wash their robes, for they will receive authority to go to the trees of life of other galactic worlds. We already know that we made our we have already discussed this with the higher power, with the creator of everything, right? We've already made those agreements. We just don't remember them. And luckily for us, what a time to be alive, because of what he's sending here right now for us to remember them. Excuse me. Us to remember them and attune to those frequencies and hear to our calling for real, because right now we in a good time to be alive to figure this out. So hear the words of the Master Control Evolutionary Charter given in the name of the office of Christ. So what's returning, y'all, is the Christ-like consciousness. That's what's happening here. This is how you're going to wash your robes and be prepared, right? This is how we're going to cross over. This is deeper than the physical "we up next" terminology that some of us may be used to, myself being. And all praises for this, because this is what we need. This is how we gonna stay protected. Keeping our frequencies higher is the very very base part of this. Purifying ourselves, right? Because we don't want to miss out on none of these things that are being sent into the earth for us to evolve into that Christ-like consciousness we just read about. We are the ones that are being called out in this time. So all praises for that. Um, let's see here. I'm going to end right here with this scripture out of the Bible. It's Revelations 22 and 14. I'm using the English Standard Version just for the sake of how it is worded. We know the same scriptures in the King James, but I'm using this one. So blessed are those who wash their robes, so that they might have the right to the tree of life, that they may enter the city by the gates. Guard the portals, guard the gates. That's how we're going to enter to the city. Those portals, another word for gates. And right now, in order to attune to this frequency, those should be our most guarded possessions right now, so that we can elevate. Whatever that may mean, whatever it means for you may be different. Strip yourselves down. Like we hear Brother Man, he always talks about the music that we listen to and different things that affect our frequency. It's time to guard that. All praises to the Most High. And thank y'all for listening.